Make some noise for your Collierville Crazies. And now, let's hear it for the pride of Collierville Marching Band. It's not really about what you want. It's about what you're willing to do to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, your CHS Varsity Cheer Team.
Mic check one. Yeah, hold up. Check.
Oh, Colton. Oh, never mind. Colton Bowden. Colton Bowden. Test, test, test.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
Hello.
CHS Varsity
Yeah,
Bomb
it works.
Squad.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes. Hello. Hello. Hello.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and bow your head for a moment of silence for the safety of all the young men competing on the field this evening, as well as the leadership and positive influence they receive from their coaches this season. Thank you. And now, at this time, we ask you to remain standing and remove your caps as we honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem. Performed tonight by the pride of Collierville under the direction of Collierville Middle School Director Jay Wilkerson.
first, then survival. We must win. It's tribal. My team like king, by any means necessary. One head to head with adversaries. Nothing is given, so we gotta take it. It's 4th and inches, so we gotta make it. Can you feel it?
What a catch! To the end zone, got it! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Collierville.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another night of beautiful Collierville Dragons football. The fall season hitting, Katie. You can tell it's a little dark and the lights are already on for kickoff. And as the Dragons get set to take the field to play Lausanne Collegiate School, the Dragons now ranked 25th in the state of Tennessee, going up against the number 67th ranked Lausanne Collegiate School, coming off of a big 61-0 win at their homecoming game against Craigmont. Caden, what are your thoughts of the game as the Dragons are about to take the field?
Colton, the temperatures are in the low 60s and they are dropping. The winter is getting to Collierville, Tennessee. We are seeing a lot. It is only going to get windier and chillier. And we have a strong Dragons team coming up against a hungry Lausanne team. It's going to be a great matchup tonight. Thursday night before fall break. The town is sleeping, but we are going to have some excellent football here in Collierville tonight.
Indeed, we are, Caden, with rumors of Tay Walden being out, which I hope aren't true. If he is not out, we are set to see one of the best matchups some people may ever see, Caden, especially at the high school football level. We are looking at the 5th ranked player in the class of 2027 with offers from schools such as Bama, Georgia, Oregon. I mean, this Lawrence Britt guy is a second version of Tay. He's the 5th ranked guy in the class. Tay ranked 11th in the class, and that would be quite the matchup to see.
Yeah, Colton, if they both face off against each other tonight, presumably they will be face to face. Tay and Britt both have similar builds, similar play styles.
I see him.
Tay is dressed up on the sideline. I'd be interested to see. It's going to be the clash of the Titans today. Last game for the Dragons was the matchup of the linebackers. Today it's going to be the matchup of the skill players.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's captains for the Lausanne Wings.
I cannot wait to see these two go at each other all night.
TJ Jenkins, number 13, Joel Rogers, and number 4.
Something new we're introducing in this game is you will be seeing a sideline reporter throughout the quarter. Something that we're experimenting with, and I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the sideline reporting goes, and it's going to be something new and interesting for the broadcast, so hopefully everybody at home likes it.
Yeah, it's always nice to get a fresh perspective. Sometimes you people get tired of listening to our voice for 40 straight minutes. So.
Possible, Caden. Coming into this game, Lausanne, the Class 2A AA ranked school, is 1-0 in their own division with an 8-7 win against Christian Brothers, and they are 2-3 overall. Their losses have came against number 20 ranked Southwind 42-10, Germantown number 28 40-35, and number 21 ranked Westview 37-34. So, Caden, what I compare them to when looking at the pregame is the Penn State of high school football teams. They lose to the teams they're supposed to lose to and beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yeah, Colton, they've had a really hard schedule coming forward, and they look to maybe put some of that in the rearview mirror tonight. That 8-7 win against Christian Brothers really showed their grit and strength, and that they have the ability to outfight you, even if it's such a low-scoring game.
And Sanabanyas looks to hurt his hand right there in warm-ups. They just took a wrap off of his hand. Something's not good with his thrown hand. He threw the football and then immediately reached down towards his thumb. Maybe some ligament issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the
just caught that in warm-ups.
Head coach Joe Riccone.
Yeah, let's not get too ahead of ourselves before the game even starts, Colton. But
a class of
I'm just saying we might see a lot of Casey Stanford tonight against the Lynx.
Yeah, and honestly, we might have seen a lot of Casey Stanford regardless, just how this Lynx defense is. They're not a very dynamic defense when it comes to running a lot of different defensive formations. They keep it very stagnant, and that's where Stanford excels, is having that stagnant defense that he can use his field vision to read very well. So, maybe we're going to see some more Stanford, but then again, Riccone does like to throw in himself some Sanabanyas here and then to light up this offense. So, we've been covering this quarterback 1-2 punch, and I think we haven't even really seen the end of a chapter yet. I think it's kind of been the same from, the first game that we announced, when you say Colton.
I'd say so, Caden. They've kind of been back and forth overall, but they really have found their place with Stanford sometimes at the helm. And then some games it's been Sanabanyas, so not that it's been really back and forth, but it's been back and forth, Caden. I feel like once one gets in a groove, they tend to play them a little more in that game, especially when it's a bigger, tougher opponent. But then some games you see the opposite. You see Sanabanyas come in there and do a QB keeper, and you see Stanford come in and try to control the offense, Caden. And that's something that I like to see. Something that's played out a lot better than we expected at the beginning of the season with being the alternate quarterback situation.
Yeah, Colton, we were a little skeptical coming into the season about how we're going to deal with the dual quarterbacks, because usually the saying goes, having two quarterbacks is like having no quarterbacks. But we've really seen Sanabanyas use his legs a lot, and we see that in the score sheet every weekend. When we get emailed the stats, it's almost like Sanabanyas, he doesn't really light up that passing sheet, but then you go down to the rushing sheet and you see that he has 100 yards on the ground, and that's where he transforms his offense. Is you bring Stanford out there and he can hurl the ball anywhere. It's like an air raid, and you bring Sanabanyas out there and you don't know where you're going with the ball, because he can throw it, but he has that ability to run it and keep it and just disrupt defenses, game plans completely.
Yeah, he's very good at when it comes to the running. He's taken off for multiple long-distance touchdowns on the ground, too, so that does bring another point. He does have to run. That's another thing teams have to prepare for, Caden. When they see Sanabanyas in the game, not only could it be a pass, but he can also run the ball very efficiently, and that's something teams got to worry about. And they kick it off here. High airing kick fielded by the Dragons. That is Bradley Stubbs. Caden, I guess he had to catch that. A lot of spin on that ball. If you try to let that bounce, it might take an awkward bounce. Lausanne jumps on it. So I can see why I didn't try to let that one just fall out of bounds, Caden. Short kick, though, to the 35, but a lot of hang time on it. Allows him to not get much yards after the catch. Eric Walden is lined up. Across from him, though, is not Lawrence Britt. It is Caleb White, number 5. Tay is out on the field today. Sanabanyas gets the first look, so apparently not injured. Finds Autry. Makes a man miss. Low hit. That is number 5. Caleb White playing a little zone coverage there, making a great read. Short gain by the Dragons there for a gain of about 5, Caden. Longer than I thought. Halfway there.
Yeah, Collierville lines up 3 men on the right. They're trying to get that defense shifted over so that they can get Autry on the easy wheel route.
And something I wanted to highlight too, Tay Walden, as Autry takes up the middle for no gain. Tay Walden leads the team in receiving yards with 76 receiving yards per game and 9 total touchdowns. Tay Walden also leads with interceptions with 3. So losing him for this game, which source, I'm just going to make a call out here, Tynan Chapin said that could have been a factor, but
Informants. We have our informants.
we have our informants. But him being on the field, as you could have, as you can tell in the Oxford game after he left, it became out of hand, really is a huge factor because the explosiveness that he brings on both sides of the ball, and the ball is out. They're calling the knee down. Autry up the middle for a big gain. They're marking him down at the Lynx 45-yard line, so that's a first down. Dragons. Dragons get a sign of relief there. I was talking about the stats. Almost caught me off guard.
Colton, I want you to look at, they have A.J. Kraft and Autry out there. A little new formation. We haven't seen that this year.
No, especially A.J. Kraft. He's a blocker, but yeah, having A.J. Kraft out there behind the lineman is something you don't see. Sanabanez fakes to Autry, stays on his feet, takes it to the 30. Lynx trying to catch him, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, Colton, that's what we see out of Sanabanez. I was just talking about that pregame. They bring Autry on the motion, look like they're going to do a little jet sweep, and that just leaves a wide open left side of the field. And the Dragons are just going to keep running hurry up, keep using this offensive run game to punish the Lynx defense.
And Sanabanez, as we were talking about before the game, does take it for a big rush. Sanabanez setting up shot from the 20, fires over the middle, incomplete, intended for Bradley Stubbs.
If Sanabanez would have just gotten that a little bit lower and a little bit more in the chest, that would have been a beautiful throw to Stubbs, and that might have gotten him to the end zone. The defense was shaded up a little bit, just got in there and knocked it out. It was a beautiful play by the DB.
Braylon Wyatt there in coverage. Good coverage there. Made contact right as the ball was coming in. Textbook, Caden. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 20 of the Lynx. Obvious field goal range right here for Hollenbach.
Colton, are we going to see a little run action here?
Flag flies. It is a false start on the Dragons. That'll move them back 5. Sets up a 2nd and 15. So I would say that would take away some of the run game, but some teams like to do it up the middle. I'm more of a pass guy when it comes to 2nd and long.
5-yard penalty.
I also don't have more
second down.
So.
It's true. Colton, Emmanuel Palmer got a little jumpy on there out in the slot. I think he was trying to get out in front for a block because it was going to be a run play. He's got a little too early and caused the false start.
And Sanabanez does drop back, feeling the pressure, looking out, tries to get it to Autry. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, Colton, on that, the linebacker just notices that they're probably going to shift right.
Third down and long for Collierville.
Autry is going out to the right, so they utilize that wide open space and find the open gap and just put a lot of pressure on Sanabanez, causing him to throw an incompletion.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 15, Caden. This would be a 47-yard field goal for Hollenbach if he attempted it. Looking to gain some yardage here, even get a first down. Sanabanez lets one fly in Tay's direction. Incomplete. Very excited. There is number 5 once again, Caleb White, bringing the energy to the defensive side of the ball. He is fired up, Caden, and he was excited about that incomplete pass. Got his hands in there right as the ball's come in. Great cornerback work. And you could tell this Lynx team is hungry.
Yeah, Colton, he was oh so close on that. Walden just has the beat on him, and the DB can't get his head up to look around. That was just a matter of luck almost. He does sneak a hand in there to knock the ball out. That was just good timing by the cornerback.
And the kick is wide left, Caden. That is no good.
He just couldn't quite get under the laces there. Kind of a curve ball out left. That's just unfortunate.
First down and 10 for the Lynx. At the 22-yard line. Check that 20-yard line.
Martrius Boyd in the backfield so far, though. Boyd had a monster week last week, scoring on 3 out of his 4 touchdowns, and he's going to look to get that started this week. but he has not faced the Dragons defense yet this year, Caden, so he's in for a rude awakening when it comes to trying to get that energy going tonight. Last week, he ran for 173 yards, scoring on runs of 91, 27, and 47.
Yeah, this defensive line for the Dragons has done an amazing job all year of pinching inside and preventing the inside run. It's been one of the things that they really excel at.
The D-line has been amazing, Caden, and they try to get them going again. Swallowed by the Dragons there.
Boyd
However,
on the
that
carry
will bring
again.
up a third and short, Caden. 3rd and 2 for the Lynx early on. Can they convert? As
Jaden Majors, 3rd down and 2.
Excuse me. As you can see Britt lined up there all alone on the far left. Facing him will be Emmanuel Palmer in coverage. The snap, another run. He gets the first down, Caden, gain of about 4 there, so they are going to lean heavily on Boyd, something they do quite a bit more
Boyd
of a
on the carry
run-heavy
again, a pickup of 3 yards and a first down for the Lynx.
You do have to feed Boyd there. Coming off of a huge
Tackled by number 15, Josh Gale.
42-17.
AJ Kraft kind of sits back and is waiting for that QB option. I think the Lynx are going to have a tough time running that option today.
And he does fake it, looking for someone up the middle. He fires. Incomplete pass. Throws that to absolutely nobody right there.
Number 12, TJ Jenkins' pass intended for Dustin Brown is incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for Lausanne.
Collapsing around him. He used his good peripheral vision to see that, and he just kind of tries to push one out there for an incompletion.
And here we go on 2nd down, fires over the middle, incomplete off the hands of Montario Sarden.
Jenkins' pass intended
Looking
for
to reel that
Joel
one in and get
Rogers
turned
is
over early
incomplete.
on.
That'll bring up 3rd down.
3rd down and 10 from their own.
Jaden Majors almost gets to the quarterback. He does apply some good pressure, hitting the back, causes the quarterback to throw a little off ways, and that leaves him with a long 3rd down.
And TJ Jenkins takes a snap, feeling the pressure, looking for the little screen pass. He would have had room to work, little out of reach. Jenkins can't deliver it where the running back needs it.
Incomplete.
And that'll bring up
4th down.
That was how do you say that, Caden? Martarius Boyd?
Martarius Boyd.
Martarius Boyd could not reel that one in. Miscommunication there from him and Jenkins. So the Lynx are going to rely mainly on their that caught me off guard. They're running an interesting punt formation here, Caden. They have 3 gunners.
Yeah, we see that a lot out of some Big Ten punt formation, some classic old school punt formation. I like to see it.
Yeah, with the 3 blockers in between too, so. Play clock hit 0. And that'll be a delay of game, probably moving them back.
Snap. Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Back to receive for the Dragons, number 1, Tay Walden Jr.
As the Lynx get set to punt it here, Dragons almost get the block off. Fumbled it a little bit, takes one hop, Tay fields it, looking to make a couple man miss. He stays on his feet, gets tackled around his 42-yard line. The Dragons will set up shop just
42-yard line, tackled by number 11, Antonio Huntsman. Dragon fans, please direct your attention to the Palm Squad. As tonight, they're going to throw out some mini pizzas from the Lost Pizza Company. And if you catch one, make sure you hold on to it and return it back to Lost Pizza for some free cheese sticks. So have some fun, fans, and make some catches.
Watch the film on this Collierville hands team.
Yeah, we've had a lot of blocks this year, Caden.
They know they can get to the punter. That's just some good situational awareness by the Lynx.
Now coming down to the field, Kaysen Stanford looking to make his impact on the game. Stanford handoff to Autry right away. Autry gets swallowed up after a gain of 3. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Dragons.
Out to the 45-yard line, tackled by number 11, Antonio Huntsman. 2nd down and 7 for Collierville.
And the Dragons have been doing all of this on the D-line without Parker Roll this year. Had a monster first game and have not been able to see him since. Something the Dragons have struggled with. Just not the offensive line, but being able to miss his presence. I mean, he came in, he had like 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses in the first game as Autry tries to find room to work. Stumbles for a gain of about 2 to 3 now. They're marking it more. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5, Caden.
Yeah, Parker Roll is such a good plug-and-play guy. You could put him on anywhere on the line, and you know that he's going to find a way to disrupt the quarterback's movement. So that's why he was so useful, and that's why a loss from Parker Roll is such an impact on this defensive line.
And this is a guy we're really going to be looking to see break out even more next year. This year looked to be his year until the injury came upon him. Very unfortunate, Caden, but hopefully to see him back in breaking out next year. Stanford takes a snap on 3rd and 5. Looking, finds his man, Palmer, just about half a yard short of the first down. Emmanuel Palmer reels the ball in. He has been a reliable target, Caden, bringing in lots of catches this year. His receptions have been off the charts.
Yeah, Colton, number 6, Colton Neighbors, is the D-back there. He just tries to play up high, and he does a nice job of holding the line. He's playing up high enough where he's just in front of the first down marker, and he does a good job of keeping Palmer away from the sticks.
And an awkward formation here for the Dragons on 4th and inches. Direct snap to Autry. He takes it up the middle, and he's got room to work. Caden powers through the Lynx line, and you can hear the crowd cheer for that one. Takes it up the middle for a gain of a little over 10, and that's a Collierville Dragons first down.
Colton, something I noticed on that play, the offensive line did a little Dallas Cowboys Tom Landry kind of thing. They went up and then shifted down, maybe a little bit of a distraction for the defensive line. I wonder if that was purposeful or everyone was just kind of in sync. That was just a nice little thing that I noticed on that play. Good first down for the Dragons.
Caden always bringing you guys back to the old head coach references. Little Landry connection there.
We are not related, contrary to popular belief.
Timeout, Collierville on the field.
Dragon fans, this timeout.
And Caden, what do you think so far? 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
I think the Dragons have done a good job commanding their offense. I think it's been kind of a slow game, but it is around this kind of, the Dragons sometimes usually take a couple drives to get into their groove. And I think it's around this time, or late first quarter, early second quarter, we're going to start seeing some more throws downfield, some bigger plays. They found their footing. Now they're ready to go out there and explode against the Lynx.
Yeah, Caden, Dragons have been an explosive team this year, connecting on many big plays between Autry and Palmer and Tay. And Stanford's kind of been the man to do that against Bartlett. And then Sanabanez delivers on his feet time and time again. So you really can't let this team get going. That's one of the keys I wrote down to winning this game for the Lynx. You cannot let the Dragons offense get going because they get on a roll and they move fast on it. As Autry, sure to be a hold as the flag flies in the backfield. Autry takes it for about 15 yards. Going to get called back though, Caden. I saw that flag go immediately as they toss to the outside.
Yeah, and that's going to be on the left tackle. He was, sometimes you look at these runs, you're like, man, he was a little too wide open. And then you see the yellow ribbon fly, and you're like, oh gosh, it's going to be a holding. Let's bring him back.
That does move him back 10, Caden, which is tough for them because that run would have set them up beautifully at the 20-yard line. Now they're all the way back, almost at their own 50. They're 47, Caden, so they got 20 yards to go here.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty. These holding penalties, all it takes is grabbing the wrong part of the jersey, and suddenly you're on a completely different portion of the field.
I mean, it's crucial field position there. Trying to strike first here. Collierville looking to get on the board. Case and Stanford, handoff to Dylan Vaughn this time. Keeps on plowing the feet, being held back, and he finally goes down. That was a tough 3 yards right there, Caden. He was fighting for every inch of that. Looking to get a big gain up the middle. Obviously expecting the pass there. The Lynx don't expect the run up the middle from Vaughn out of all people.
Yeah, you see Deuce Vaughn come in for a lot of pass plays, a lot of pass packages. So it was almost kind of like a throw-off for the Lynx to try to get them to bite on the pass. But he does have that dual threat ability on the run game.
Stanford looking at Tay. Incomplete, little high, couldn't deliver it in the chest. And you can tell someone who's really wanted it in this game has been Caleb White. I mean, he's been in coverage, and he's going to have the task of guarding Tay every play this game, and we're going to see how that continues to go, but he has been showing his excitement after every single play here.
Yeah, and that's just natural when you're lined up against a guy like Tay. You need to have that adrenaline pumping if you're going to put up a match against him.
And he goes to Autry on the outside here, looking to get into field goal range. He makes a man miss. Going up the sideline, takes it for about 10. That'll set up a 4th and about 5, Caden.
Yeah, one of Riccone's favorite weapons is Lawrence Autry, because he always knows that there's going to be at least 4 yards up the middle for a run. But he also has, he's such a downhill runner. You can dump it off to him on the outside, and you can still expect him to pick up 7 yards. And it looks like the Dragons are going to go for this one on the back of the Lawrence Autry pass play.
Yeah, and with the missed kick from Holland back on the last one, you don't blame him. As he tries to go over the middle, should be a flag there. There's a lot of pulling on the back of Barksdale's jersey. And a no call from the refs. Irritation from the Dragons sideline that will send the defense out there, and a turnover on downs for the Dragons. Missed kicked on the first drive, turnover on downs, but they have been getting in Lynx territory, Caden.
Yeah, Colton, these refs have decided to just let it play. We've seen a lot of contact on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a physical game tonight.
Yeah, and it's just going to be about, can the Dragons stop this run? As you see, beautiful contain there. I mean, he couldn't really help himself there because he had to play that off of how you're going to, because you want them to try to jump on the running back. But right there, if Caleb Woods jumps on the running back, the quarterback, if he keeps that, he's going right past him. So beautiful contain and force the ball into the running back's hands on the last play. Great just football IQ right there out of Caleb Woods.
Yeah, and I got to give it to him. Great football IQ out of the Lynx, too. Those option plays are not easy for offenses. You practice that a lot on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And just like that right there, you got to have good situational awareness to, know that Caleb Woods is going to be staring at you right there, and to be able to either tuck it or hand it off.
I mean, Caleb Woods averages about 6.5 tackles per game, Caden. So you can tell he is always in there with the football IQ, being able to read the quarterback. And there is a beautiful catch by number 13, Joel Rogers, out there, right over Sardin. However, it does get called back due to
ineligible.
Thank you so much, Caden.
Words are hard sometimes. It's okay. It's only your job, Colton. Yeah, that is a clutch penalty for the Dragons, because that was a beautiful catch. He went up and grabbed it out of the sky, it seems like, but
Caden,
it all gets sent back.
Caden, don't judge me. I haven't taken English yet. That's next semester. Shout out Ms. Bullock. I'm excited.
You think she's listening?
Oh, 100%. I see her every day in that English hall. Great hallway. And a speed option there from the Lynx, wrapped up by a combination of wide receivers.
Colton, there was a late flag in the backfield. Caleb Woods, we were talking about him on the option play. He's there for the speed option as well.
On the offense, number 7.
Wow, no one really expected that penalty.
Yeah, on a play blown up like that, you don't really expect a holding. However, the Dragons do just decline it and set up a 3rd down. I like the play there by Riccone, trying to get his offense back on the field before the quarter ends. 3rd and 10 now for the Lynx, looking to convert and keep the drive alive as 3 minutes passes by in the first quarter. Scoreless here. He's looking on the keeper, wrapped up. That is Majors, one of the best linebackers in the state. And I'll say it many times, Caden, him and Gale gotta be the best combo in the state, especially in all of 6A. You saw it in the Bartlett matchup. They proved that they win that every time. 2 field generals. We got 2 1A players. You know how they say 1A, 1B? We got 1A and 1A, Caden. Majors and Gale are a duo to be feared around the 6A division.
Absolutely. They remind me of the Legion of Boom, Colton. Majors is like Cam Chancellor out there. He has such good ball knowledge, or field knowledge, but when you need to lay the boom, Majors is there. And Gale is such an explosive guy too. He's so quick and agile that we see him getting to the running back and the quarterback a lot, just around the left tackles and the right tackles. You can't think of a better combination, honestly. This might be the best linebacker core this turf has seen in years.
100%, Caden. That's saying something for Collierville, because we've had some great linebackers being able to step on this field. But yeah, I mean, when you remind me of the Legion of Boom, you see a little Bobby Wagner in them too. I mean, just classic linebackers throughout the league.
Big
Luke
bruisers.
Kuechly,
Yep.
Fred Warner, little Eric Kendricks throwing it back to the Vikings. I mean, complete field generals of the game as the Dragons get out there quick and hand off to Autry, who gets swallowed up after a couple of yards. That'll be a gain of 3, and that'll bring up a second
Autry
and
on
7.
the carry to the 43-yard line. Tackled by number 70, KJ Banks. Second down.
Gale
and
reminds
7.
me a lot of Devin White.
I like that comparison a lot, Caden, actually. Sanabanyes picked off over the middle. He was looking for Palmer. Tay tries to punch the ball out, but that is number 26, Joseph Profit. Joseph Profit banking off that interception right there. Read the quarterback guys, bobbled it for a minute, and then continue to come down and take off with it into the Dragons' territory to their 33-yard line. Intercepted by the Lynx, setting the tone early with a minute 33 left in the first quarter. That'll bring back out onto the field T.J. Jenkins.
Yeah,
Man,
Colton.
Kaden, what a name. I like that name a lot.
That is a great name. The Lynx have had a tough time scoring on offense just in general throughout the season. It would be nice for them to get a score here. And a lot of the time during the season, you don't see them up in the first quarter. I don't know if they've actually been up in the first quarter the whole season. So it would be nice to get out in front of a team like the Dragons early to maybe establish a ground that hasn't been established all season.
Yeah, I mean, right there, not to discredit what just happened on the field, Tristan Plumlee broke through that screen for a loss of 2. I mean, he read that and he wrapped up beautifully, Caden. Even when you break through, it's hard to kind of wrap up on a guy who's trying to turn the field and looking for a hole, and he gets it. This is why he's got his offers, man. Lawrence Britt, spin move after spin move, making many people miss. That is Sarden who finally brings them down. I mean, I think he got all 5 of those yards off of spin moves, Caden. He just got the ball and spun until he fell down.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's up there in the rankings, and we're really seeing it today. Even when the rest of his team is kind of failing, he is out there spinning, juking, lowering the shoulder. He is the one who wants to go out there and win this game for his team.
I mean, and the scouts are really going to be looking at this game. You got 2 of the top people in Tennessee as the pressure comes. Caught right there by Boyd. Boyd running up the sideline, pushed out of bounds by Plumlee finally, and that'll bring up a 4th and short for the Lynx. And I don't know much on their kicker here, so this might be go for it territory. He gets out of bounds, so that will leave us with another play left in the quarter. 12.8 remaining.
Yeah, Colton Boyd is doing a great job catching these balls behind the line of scrimmage and just exploding out past the line of scrimmage, trying to get as much yards as possible. And the Dragons defense is so close on these screen passes. It's like they just need a couple more inches and they'll blow any one of these up.
And Boyd riding off the momentum of last game. That is Britt taken down by Sarden once again.
Colton, we've seen Sarden all over the field. He's making a lot of these tackles.
Sarden's been lining up the field tonight on the tackle sheet. Not even people that he's been guarding, but he's came across the field many times to make the tackle and bring lots of people down, Caden. Something that you love to see out of your young cornerback.
Colton, that was a great, brutal, rough first quarter of football. We're going to send it down to Alex for some first quarter analysis. We'll be back in the booth after some words from our sideline reporter, Alex.
State Farm agent Joe Sario. Tri-State Guardrail and Signs. State Farm agent Zach Jaworski. C-Spire. Your Window Guy. The Collierville Nutrition Spot. Fertility Associates of Memphis. Amerispan Tints. Althea Metal Fabrications. Mid-South Marine. My Town Moving. And Nava Roofing. Thank you to our great sponsors.
And we're back. Lynx with field position. Sorry, some technical difficulties there. Swallowed up, Caden. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Beautiful job by the Dragons defense. Braylon Warren getting himself in there, and he has been a big factor all year. You're going to see another year out of him. He had 9 tackles for losses on the season. Right behind him, though, Majors with 8, followed by Kraft with 7 and Gale with 6. So you can see all of the Dragons have been getting in there for tackle for losses all year long. Yeah. TJ Jenkins looking to get his team some points in the red zone here. That'll be a handoff to Boyd. Once again, he's got room, fighting for the first. Looks to come up just short. That'll be 3rd and 1. Big play for the Dragons here. Can they stuff him and bring up a tough 4th down? And they're subbing in another big defensive tackle, Matthew Salazar, a guy who has been great to fill in on the season. Between him and Langston Reed, linemen who switch in to kind of stuff the middle on that D-tackle position, they have done a great job all season long.
Yeah, Colton, they only need 2 or 3 yards, so they're going to beef up the defensive line and the offensive line. Both of them are running jumbo packages. They're trying to prevent this run down the middle.
And he gets the first down, possibly the end zone. Swallowed by the Dragons there. Reaches the 2-yard line, Caden.
Boyd on the carry.
And that's going to turn over the chains as well. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Caden, I mean,
1-yard line.
Not to jinx anything, but I think they just kind of punched this in with Boyd, honestly. And you can see they stack everybody, all 11, within about a couple feet of each other. And that's Jenkins on the keeper, and he does punch it in. Fake to Boyd, and something that is a beautiful call that I love from the Lynx. The Dragons have seen Boyd, just keep on punching the ball. And right when they expect it least, Jenkins keeps it and is able to take it right into the end zone through a little hole, and that puts them on the board at 6-0 to start the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, the Dragons need a massive reset right here. They just need to totally flip the page on the 1st quarter, because we saw some good fundamentals, but we haven't seen anything that's really what we expect out of a Collierville Dragons offense. You know, they have a precedent, and they haven't really been following it yet. So they really need to make some adjustments, flip the page, and start this 2nd quarter over like it's the start of the game.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down here to, can the offense get going? I mean, you have seen them attempt to get going, and they've had their chances in Lynx position, but they've come up just short on both the attempts there, Caden. So really wondering what you're going to see here as the quarter goes by, especially in the 2nd. I mean, this is a 2nd half Dragons team by all means, but they've been able to get out there They've been able to get out there early on a lot of teams like Oxford, and they've really held their own through all 3 quarters. I mean, there's no quarter that they dominate in compared to others. They're a very well-rounded team this year, Caden. Compared to last year, you saw them very 2nd half oriented, and still kind of this year, because whatever Riccone preaches in that locker room, I'd love to hear just one time in my life, Caden.
Absolutely.
But it gets them fired up, and they come back out here with more energy than you ever see any team come out on the field with. So Riccone really praised on his halftime speeches and his coaching ability by every player I've talked to.
Yeah, it is a miracle that what Riccone works in that locker room.
And one of the former players, Bryson Majors, who's now playing at Millikan University for college football, he just described the halftime speeches as emotional and just inspiring. I mean, not emotional in a sad way, but he's like, what Riccone says in those locker rooms just touches you and gets you fired up. It just gets you going when you need to get going, and it really just touches the heart in all ways. It's good, gets you fired up, it's motivational, and it just brings the energy that the team needs. And this is why the Dragons have been deep playoff contenders every year. I mean, Riccone has just built an excellent program here in Collierville. Handoff to Autry up the middle. Another guy they're looking to get going. Autry averages on the dot 100 yards a game. He leads the team with 13 total touchdowns.
Colton, I want to throw it back to something you said about coaching. Some of the best coaches are the ones that can appeal to your emotions the most. And the ability to appeal to someone's emotions like that and just change the inner workings of how they're feeling each game really can change the mindset of an entire team. It's like a commander in the army almost.
Caden, well said. And a lot of coaches, people don't give him credit for. It's not all about the schemes and the strategy and what they know about X's and the O's. I mean, it is a lot of that. You do have to know that to coach. But like you said, being able to touch the team and get them fired up and know what to say and when to say it, Caden, and just being able to get a team back in the game strictly off of speech, that is something that is a non-teachable skill. That comes straight talent, Caden. That's something you're born with. And Barksdale with the beautiful little hook screen there. You see him catch the ball and move back to the middle as a beautiful block is laid by Jolson Burks. That brings a Collierville Dragons first down.
Yeah, Colton, I'm going to be interested to see if the Dragons offense kind of shifts a lot of their passing game inside into the interior. They've seen a lot.
And Autry lays the shoulder down and runs him over. A guy who was celebrating just a minute ago, and Braylon Wyatt pumping his fist at the sideline, sits down on the ground real quickly.
As I was saying, there's a lot of there's going to be a lot more interior passing. They've seen a lot of the pass come on the outside. The quarterbacks just can't find their timing quite yet, and it's going to lead to a lot of disruptions outside. You need to find that good timing. So I'm glad to see that we're shifting more over to those little hook curls, some drag routes. It's going to really benefit this Dragons offense if they want to keep moving forward, because that's what they need. They got to keep the ball moving forward.
And Stanford thought he got him with the cadence, but he got his own man, Caden. False start there by the Dragons, moves him back 5. Stanford looking at the sideline, gets the call. 1st and 15, Caden, 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter. Stanford takes a snap, looking, likes what he sees, throwing it over the head of London Shaw. London Shaw is, as we said, I think he was smaller. Yeah, 5'7", Caden. So I can understand how you might overthrow him just because he's used to throwing to such tall receivers and, you know, Bradley Stubbs, Nick Graham, Tay Walden. So not necessarily a skill issue on either end right there, Caden. Just not used to that. Kind of what you saw and what I really praise Holcomb for as a center there, being able to shift the ball from Stanford to Sanabanyas there. I mean, height difference there's 5 inches, which I think it's just about, yeah, Sanabanyas 6'3", Stanford 5'10", so exactly 5 inches, and that is a lot when you're dealing with the quarterback. Stanford, Holcomb says, likes the ball at his chest. Sanabanyas more up. Stanford finds Tay over the middle. He's got room to work. Gets the first down. Shoelace tackled there by Caleb White. And this is what you don't like to see if you're the Lynx. Tay Walden getting up and getting going and moving those chains for the first time tonight. Beautiful pass by Stanford right in the numbers. Stanford takes a snap back to Autry. Very quick and swallowed up. That was number 50, Landon Gunn.
Yeah, Colton, on that first down pass play, we saw Tay kind of run a little outside curl, and then he sees that Stanford is in trouble, so he cuts across the middle. Stanford finds the connection, and Walden uses his legs and just legs out a first down.
The clock really running here, Caden. Under 2 minutes, and Vaughn spins, keeps going, and he has been so sneakily good this year, Caden. I cannot wait to see what he does next year. Some people are like, oh, you have a lot of seniors moving on this year, and we really do, but that just leaves room for more people to fill. Something that you see the Dragons are very good at moving every year. You're thinking, oh, how do you go better quarterback than D1 Missouri with Aiden Glover? Oh, you got Troutman, Memphis. Here you go. Now you got 2 great quarterbacks, and you surround them with Autry, and you surround them with Walden, and you got Marshall Smith. I mean, every year you find people who break into their new role and just fill the shoes of the old one really well. And Vaughn has been so good because you see him in the backfield, and a lot of teams go, oh, it's not Autry, they're going to pass. And then Vaughn takes off on you for 15 yards. Stanford picks up the ball, making a man miss and just getting tackled. Low snap there. Grateful to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, Colton, we saw that you were talking about the acquisitions that the Dragons have made. They've really surrounded their quarterback with a lot of great weapons. And having that new set of players coming in, and even on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, we saw 9 or 10 starters leave, and they've done a great job finding and just refreshing a new page on this Dragons defense chapter, and it has just been a beautiful, beautiful.
Oh man, off the hands of Walden. Stanford fires to the end zone and intercepted by the Lynx, returned out to the 10. I mean, he should have just taken a knee. But man, that is a tough break for the Dragons. Number 8, Braylon Wyatt gets the final laugh there. I mean, he got ran into the ground, so, but he came right back with that pick, Caden. Right, once again, Caden, right as the Dragons are getting to Lausanne territory, they just still cannot find the connection to put them on the board. And that leaves it in the hands of TJ Jenkins with 5 minutes and 19 seconds left before half to try to go get on the board once again. Handoff, that is Boyd up the middle. He's got room to work. James Gobble stops him in his tracks, and the rest of the Dragons join in on the tackle.
Yeah, Gobble is that guy that can fly across the field. You don't see him a lot. We don't call out his name a lot, but he is always there. He just comes. He's so explosive. He flies across the field, and we saw him on that play coming from the outside defensive back position and just flies over into the middle and makes a great tackle. Unfortunately, it is a first down against the Dragons.
And I don't know how much you can tell this on the broadcast because it's kind of up close. There it is. You can tell it. The pink with the black for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month is just beautiful. Something you see a lot in the NFL and saw a lot of a couple of years ago with the whole stadium turning pink. But something great about football is the supporting to all the subjects. I mean, you see them wear all sorts of colors on the field every week, but when it comes to occasions like this and the Breast Cancer Awareness Week, which if you watch Thursday Night Football, you'll see tonight and on Sunday a lot, is the pink. And that just with the Dragons' classic black uniforms is beautiful.
Yeah, the Dragons wearing the blackouts is, I mean, that's just nice. It's such
One
a
would
sweet
say
touch.
Guaranteed win, Caden.
Nothing's guaranteed in life except death, but
Death taxes and the Dragons winning with the black unis.
or death taxes and Lawrence Autry getting a touchdown within the 10-yard line. He said that last broadcast.
Yeah, every single time he's within the 10, that's Lawrence Autry touchdown.
Put that on a T-shirt.
It's got to be an 100% rate, Caden.
I think it is so far. Within the 10, I don't think he's missed.
And Jenkins with the keeper here. Sarden can't wrap him up. Combined tackle there. Overall, that is Joshua Gale with the tackle. Credit him with the tackle. That's a tackle like 3 times. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6 in their own territory. Caden, an incomplete pass or a tackle for a loss here would be great for the Dragons because that'll put the ball back into the hands of their offense. And if the Dragons get the ball back, Caden, who do you think trots out onto the field for them in this next drive?
I think Sanabanyas. I think they need a big play quick. And
Never mind, Caden. Strikes over the middle. Jenkins to Rogers, 12-13. Pushing him up to the Dragons' 45-yard line. Not what you want there if you're marching in the Dragons' defense.
yeah, that's such a drive killer. They're utilizing the Dragons are running a little zone defense here, and they just find that open spot. It's a dead zone over the middle.
And here it is, something they must have seen in film. Testing that one-on-one ball over the sideline. A key to winning before the game would be the Lynx need to exploit the Dragons defense and make the big plays. They need to find the guys, the one-on-one balls over the sideline, and being able to start the run game efficiently is 2 things the Dragons defense has struggled with all season long. And what has really lost them the only 2 games they lost. The only games they lost have been against the Mississippi number 3 team in MRA and the number 6 ranked team in Mississippi, Oxford, in the 39-36 overtime thriller, which you can check out on the channel. Jenkins snap out to Boyd, a little speed action once again, and Boyd is just so ferocious on the turf, attacking it, moving the chains once again. I mean, he caught the ball probably about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just takes it there for a gain of 12 past the line of scrimmage. I mean, once he gets his feet going, he is efficient, Caden, and he can fly.
Yeah, that speed option is so close to being blown up. I said it earlier in the game that they're inches away. I mean, we saw 2 people bring down that quarterback. It has been a game of inches so far.
And they try to go to Britt and get him going. They get him for about a gain of 4 here.
Number 2, Tussin Brown on the catch. Knocked out by number 23, Christian Swift.
Timeout. Ball fans. First timeout. First half.
Ladies and gentlemen, this timeout is sponsored by Ortho One. Ortho One is the official sports medicine
3 minutes
provider
of
for
football,
all Dragon
2.5
athletics
minutes
with
of
2
football left to
convenient
play.
Office area
The
locations.
Dragons are
For fast,
combating
quality care,
a
that's
marching
the Ortho
Lynx
One
team.
difference.
They need a stop in
And
a big
Dragon
way,
fans, it's time to
preferably a
recognize our
turnover. They
district
need a
sponsors.
big stop. They
Max
need a fumble or an
Carry Moore,
interception.
Allstate
The
Insurance.
Dragons' offense
Ortho
has
One
not
Sports
found
Medicine.
their footing whatsoever.
Patriot Bank.
So this is where the
Maximus
Dragons'
Building
defense
Supply.
needs to step
Sticks
up and
Restaurants.
show why they
First
can also
Horizon.
bring
The
the
Lilly
win
Company.
for their team.
Landers
We've seen
Auto
it so
Group.
much, and
Williams and
you know who I want to
Francis
see a little
Oral
bit
Facial
more out
Surgery.
of?
And
Braylon
Linda
Moore.
Henry.
He leads the
Thank
team
you
with
to our
9
district
tackles for
sponsors.
loss. Majors comes up a little bit behind him with 8 tackles for loss. They are getting so close, the Dragons. If I was the D coordinator, I'd be so frustrated right now. Inches away from these tackle for losses, and they just need a big sack or a TFL to maybe shift the weight of this drive.
And TJ Jenkins lets one fly over the middle, wide open man. Beat Plumlee, and he hits the celly right there. That is Joel Rogers once again. He converted on that big third down in their own territory, and he capitalizes off the drive there. And the Dragons are really going to need to get some points on the board. Go get a touchdown before the half, Collierville. 2:15 left before halftime, and the Lynx are looking to extend their lead to 14-0.
Yeah, that's a brutal touchdown over the middle. Plumlee was at least 2 steps behind the hip of his guy, and there's just nothing. Once he blows past you, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. You just need to kind of accept defeat and pray that the quarterback doesn't deliver a dot, which he did, unfortunately. And that leaves the Dragons down 2 scores. They need to drive down, chew up as much clock as possible, and hopefully end this drive with any points on the board. A field goal or a touchdown would be nice here.
Yeah, Caden, especially, I mean, they don't get the ball to start either, Caden. You're kicking away to the Lynx. I'm assuming they won the coin toss and deferred. Not exactly sure on that, but I know they definitely did not start with the ball. And Caden, something you don't see this game, sadly, is the bananas on the benches, Caden. You really made my night last time by calling that out. I thought that was awesome.
You think the trainers found some alternate
Back to
methods
receive from Dragons number 0, Garrett
Hopefully
Stevens.
maybe they moved on past the bananas.
All in the pregame meal.
Maybe they ate all the bananas in the pregame meal, so there's no need to put them out there. We might need to interview someone about that.
And one of those high kicks again. I wonder how you practice that, Caden. Stubbs fields it once again. And that is definitely unnecessary on the Lynx there. I mean, they were pushing Stubbs after he already hit the ground. That'll set the Dragons up with good field position, Caden.
Yeah, things are getting a little bit chippy here down the field. The Lynx have not seen a lead this big all year, actually. Their largest lead they've seen is only a score or 2. I mean,
they did come off a 42-17 win last week against ECS. But yes, before that, their only win came to Christian Brothers 8-7. So they are known for these low-scoring games.
My point was there, I don't know if they know how to handle being up this much, which is, it's sad to think about, but it's true. And I think things are getting, especially against a team like
Yeah, I was going to say, ECS ranked a lot lower than most of the other teams in the division, or just in Tennessee. I think they're ranked 200th and something in Tennessee, as Sanabanez looking to scramble, finds his man over the middle. Beautiful find there. Looking to rush, stops, makes a beautiful throw between the Lynx defenders, finding an underrated target in Bradley Stubbs, the guy who really is a true just technician with the routes. He finds himself in open space time and time again. It is no coincidence, Caden, that he was sitting in the middle of the field. Sanabanez on the keeper now. Bounces it to the outside. He's got room to work. Beautiful block by Barksdale. Pushed out of bounds after a gain of 11 and another first down for the Dragons. A minute 38 remains.
Yeah, this is what we see out of Sanabanez. This is what we love out of Sanabanez. He is coming in here and he's finding the man. That was a beautiful play by Sanabanez 2 plays ago. He drops the arm slot and just finds the guy over the middle. This is the momentum that the Dragons
And
need.
here's Vaughn, cuts it back. That's a touchdown, Dragons. Dylan Vaughn takes it for a gain of 24 and punches it in, attacking the middle, bouncing to the outside, and beats the foot race to the pylon.
Vaughn on that play bounces at least 3 or 4 times, and that is what we see, the kind of underrated, undeveloped skill that he has that's just kind of flourishing when he comes out here on these long down situations. Vaughn just bounces out twice, and I do want to shout out, that was some good blocking by the skill players too. Just sets up Vaughn with some open field, and that is the drive that the Dragons need now. Cut this down to 1 score. Hopefully they get out of here into the locker room, only down 1, and Riccone is going to work his magic in that locker room. And we are sure to see some Dragon explosiveness, some Dragon fire coming out of the gates here in the second half.
And a guy we were really talking about too, I mean, this guy has been, as we said, sneaky explosive. You can never count Vaughn out when he's in the backfield. Like we said, a lot of people look for Autry, and when they don't see him, they think it's going to be a pass. But Vaughn right there shows his explosiveness, bouncing it to the outside and putting 7 on the board, Caden.
Yes, Vaughn is going to be a great back next year. We're so excited to see him develop and flourish into the future backfield of this Collierville Dragons.
And with 1:30 left, Caden, looks to be 7-14 going into half, but Dragons still have 2 total timeouts. We'll see what's to come. Fair caught by Lausanne. The Lynx have been clawing at the Dragons all night, Caden, and this is going to be a fight to the end, Caden. Looking to see who comes out and starts the second half off better. We're going to get to a lot at halftime here, but I was trying not to say too much about it before, but we are also going to have the sideline reporter, so we will see what we have time to talk about and what she already covers. We can recap what she says and go over more, as this is a close one.
Again,
and they
Colton,
find Dustin
inches.
Brown, and he's racing down the sideline. It's a foot race. Gale takes him down. He stepped out of bounds slightly before Gale got to him, but that is Dustin Brown on, once again, a little outside screen. And Gale tracks him down from the middle of the field there. Great hustle and effort by Josh Gale.
Yeah, that's impressive. Colton, can you think of like a really fast linebacker, really speedy middle linebacker off the top of your dome? Whoever you think of.
Devin Lloyd, maybe? I mean, he just took it 99 yards to the house on Monday.
I would say Lloyd is a great comparison to Gale right there. A big holding for the Lynx just negates all of that. But as I was saying with Gale, you know, that is not his assignment, is to be all the way out there. But he just hawks down the man, comes up from the middle of the field. I think they were almost pressing down too. So that is just the speed. I was talking about the speed out of Gale. That's what he brings to the table for this linebacker core.
Lawrence Taylor is also pretty explosive, and they give him a one-on-one ball. Caught! And he's going to beat him out, man. I mean, this guy is phenomenal. This is the guy we were talking about pregame, too. The number 5 ranked guy in Tennessee for a reason, baby. Why on earth would you give him one-on-one coverage with a minute left? I mean, you know they're not going to kneel the ball out. Yeah, Lawrence Britt had 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 83 yards last week in a limited play game. He's ranked number 5 in the state for class of 2027. He's got offers from Bama and Georgia, and we're giving him one-on-one coverage with a minute left, Cade, and that's just you got to have safety help on that, man.
Electing to go 0 high obviously turned out not to be the play. We see Britt come off the line so quickly. He uses misdirection almost. You saw him cut in and then cut out. And at that point, he was already so far past the hip of his defender that he's just outrunning him any day of the week. You can't outrun Britt. The only person I think on this team that could outrun Britt is Tay Walden.
I mean, he clocked, what, like 22 miles an hour?
Ridiculous,
Something
yes.
crazy. It was 22 or 23, man. I mean, he is fast.
And that's a killer, because it almost seems like, you know, it took the Dragons 4 minutes to go down the field and get a score. And then in 15 seconds, the Lynx respond. So that's not good for your confidence.
Yeah, it goes from a 1-score to a 2-score game real quick, Caden, and something that you just can't afford there when you deferred and you don't get the ball at half either. So that's another big issue there. You are down 2 scores and you got to stop them just to get a chance to cut it to 1 score. Who knows, maybe the Dragons get a strike back in a minute 7. Like I said, they still have their 2 timeouts, and a great field here by Stubbs. Stubbs bouncing at 40, and he's off to the races. Can they catch Stubbs? Cutting back midfield, stays on his feet all the way to the Lynx 30, and that is a huge help.
Bradley Stubbs putting the offense on his back. The hands team really appreciates what he does. He's such an underrated player when it comes to the hands team. And now he's going to go out there and cause some disruptions on the offense.
And these kicks are tricky because you don't see this a lot by the hands team who's not furthest back. So they're kicking to about the middle guys here, guys who aren't really used to catching the ball and more used to blocking. And he fields that great, I mean, being a wide receiver. And he takes off. That'll set the Dragons up at the 30-yard line. Sanabanez coming back out after the touchdown on the last drive. Looking just under pressure and sacked. Timeout called by Riccone. 47.2 left. He makes it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 30. And they're going to talk about something here in the huddle. They got to get points on the board, Caden. Yeah, especially with that return that Bradley Stubbs blessed them with.
I was just about to compliment how good the Dragons offensive line is doing today. Maybe that's kind of some bad timing, but the interior offensive line, Jonah Holcomb at center, you mentioned him earlier in the game, shifting between quarterbacks. He is so good on this offense. He's such a good leader on this offensive line. Being in the middle, of that O-line, he just commands it, and you barely see him make any bad snaps. He is always deserving of that post-game meal every day. The entire offensive unit, honestly, is just so good.
D&H Designs, custom countertops and cabinets crafted to perfection.
And I think that they just really hold a high precedent for this Dragons offense.
And Sanabanez here takes the snap, looking, stops on a dime. Barksdale cutting back, taken down. Will the Dragons burn their final timeout? They got to get up to the line quick. If not, time bleeding. Not your friend here. All the way down to 30 seconds. Just hit 30. Snap. Sanabanez eating up more yards to Barksdale. Stays in bounds. You got to. I was going to say, they did burn it. I was going to say, you have to burn it here.
Yeah, Colton on that play.
Because they got the first down, so now they can clock it if they go in bounds. Announcement from the refs here.
The first down did stop the clock. And
timeout, Lausanne.
Timeout, Lausanne.
Wow.
Didn't like what they saw out of their defense there. And coordinators making some noise on the other end of the box. Yeah, the White brothers both in the booth together, coordinating the offense. I mean, he has done. I think John's the O coordinator, and Joe is also helping out. Not exactly sure on his position, but I know he does stuff with the offensive.
Yeah, the coordinators are just a really solid group. The coaching staff for the Dragons is just, it's almost like they're at a higher level than everyone else, and they hold themselves with such an integrity that you don't see out of a lot of teams in our division. So it's just really nice to have such a good coordinator and coaching group to lead this young Dragons team.
Yeah, the coordinators have been phenomenal all year with the new adjustments and changing. Catches that one out of bounds there. I don't exactly know how I personally feel about the short yardage plays when, I mean, I'd say you're at the inside the 20-yard line. You got to take a shot to the end zone, ideally to cut it down to 1 score with 14 seconds now.
But on the other side of the coin, you want to say, man, we've thrown 2 picks, over the middle of the field, so maybe you don't want to turn it over.
What do you got to lose, man? Cut it down. Sanabanez in trouble. You cannot take a sack here. You cannot take a sack. He does get that off. I mean, okay, he threw that from behind the 40-yard line, and the line of scrimmage is inside the 20. So there is a lot of running backwards there, something you don't really want to see.
Sanabanya's made it work. He always does.
Yeah, and there's 6 seconds left, Caden, so this is more than likely the final play. Unless they spike it and get the kicking team on, but you have 6 seconds. So what I would do, they gave Britt a one-on-one ball. You can give your star wide receiver a one-on-one ball, and
6 seconds might not be enough time for a one-on-one if they're going to play back.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're really banking on the final timeout by Lausanne there. I mean, they might just strike over the middle and fall down and timeout, but 6 seconds is not a lot of time here to even do that.
D&H Designs, Baptist Cancer Center,
If I were
Best Care Home Services.
I don't know how much closer you can get for
I would stick
Roofing,
with this position.
Central
You got to get
Church,
points up on the board,
Employees Credit
to explode out
Association,
early.
Ergon
in the second
Asphalt and
half.
Emulsions, Big
I
League
think
Movers,
any
Pickler Wealth
movement
Advisors,
towards that 21
Johnson
mark that
Plumbing,
the Lynx have
the
put
Home
up
Depot,
is a
and
positive
Rubber Brisket.
in my eyes.
Thank you to
There's
our
no
member
need to,
sponsors.
they've already thrown 2 picks today. There's no need to force anything and leave yourself with more of a deficit than you already have.
Yeah, and this is a very big decision because, I mean, you're talking about the clock itself right here. I mean, 6 seconds, Caden, between a 1-score game, and you do want to kick the field goal, but I think this, you had your chance for the touchdown, and there were short yardage plays, so I feel like they kind of elected already that they're aiming for the field goal. So I don't know what their plan's been. Were they trying to go for the touchdown with the short yardage plays and hope something explodes? Like to be in the mind of the coordinator on that one.
Looks like here's what happened. Collierville is going to go out there and line up. They want to see what coverage the defense is running. They don't like the coverage. Now they're just going to send Holland back on. Oh, I stand corrected.
No, you don't. Hollenbeck's on.
Oh, man. See,
You saw Stanford, but
I
you
did.
forget he's the holder.
he is the holder. You know what? I apologize. You are totally correct.
To say, I saw that too, and I looked right next to him. I saw 83, so I was like, "Hey, Hollenbeck's trotting out here." Hollenbeck looking to make this 10-21 game. I'm not gonna jinx anything, Caden. He missed one earlier, so there's not much of a
Don't
jinx.
even say it. You don't even say the word K-I-C-K-E-R or K-I-C-K or M-A-K-E.
Me and Caden don't have a great history with, as Vikings fans, had to blur it out before it goes in. Through the uprights and good. Hollenbeck. Makes you think the first one was tipped or something, Caden. That was beautiful. Maybe they had a little London action. Will Reichert off the wire in London this past week.
Yeah, there's a lot of wires out there. First half of football, Dragons are down 10 to the Lynx 21 points. We are going to send it down to Allie on the sideline. She's going to take it away, and we will have another second half of football coming up. Go at it, Allie.
Lynx lead 21, Dragons 10.
You are kind of tall. You're great for a cameraman, but you say go.
Thank you, Caden. It's been an eventful second quarter. The score is now 21-10 with Lausanne taking the lead. Lausanne has had an 85-yard touchdown as well as an interception in the end zone. And that's all for the second quarter. Back to you, Caden. Short and sweet.
know, like she can't hear anything. Like,
Yeah.
nothing. So.
Did they hear the song?
You're texting someone back there, right? Also, yeah. Can you ask him if he needs that again?
Okay.
Or do you want to have you with him?
Oh, I snuck on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field your Pride of Collierville Marching Band. The Pride of Collierville's 2025 production is titled Beyond the Veil.
Thank you, Allie, from a great sideline report, something that we will definitely see more of in future broadcasts and hopefully some playoff broadcasts later this year. Now enjoy the performance by the Collierville Band.
Introducing drum majors Clara Parker, Everett Nordine, Selena Zhu, and your Pride of Collierville Marching Band.
Dragon fans, we've got a special treat tonight. We've got a lucky student that's going to try to catch a punch for a pizza. Clark's going to get up here and see if he can catch a punt off the jugs machine. It's been his dream to always catch a punt on the field during a Dragon football game. Clark, can you do it?
I'm ready.
All right, it's a safety issue. Buckle up. Let's see what you got, buddy. Come on here. Keep going, keep going. Clark, did you sign a waiver? Okay, keep the helmet on. All right, do it quick. Here we go. Fire it. Catch it, Clark. You get one. Up. Give me one more. Scoot up. Here we go. He got it! Way to go, Clark. Let's get him, Dragons. Give him a good second half.
Welcome back to second half of Collierville Dragons football. 10-21, the Dragons trail. Looking to get onto the board early on in the half after hopefully an opening drive stop of the Lynx. And Dragons huddled up now, getting ready to go in the second half. Let's see if Ricconi's speech can fire them up and get them going for another victory. They're on a, I believe, 3-game win streak, Caden. Can they keep the streak going?
Yeah, and it's a 3-game win streak on the heels of some terrible losses. So it's nice to have that bounce back. And you want to keep this flame stoked for as long as possible. You want to keep it burning. And you want the barrel to keep rolling for as long as you can, and you don't want it to be stopped, especially against a team like the Lynx. You know, it's no disrespect to the Lynx, but the Dragons just play at a higher caliber than they do.
Yeah, and they just come in with more expectations. Home turf, 3-game win streak. You are 5-2. You need to move to 6-2 because next week's their bye week. I mean, comes with fall break, so I mean, just a lot going on here for this Dragon team, and they want to go into break on a high note. You don't let your mind rest until break, and even then the grind never stops, but you really got to go into break on a win here as Hollenbeck kicks it right into the back of the end zone. Another touchback for him.
Hollenbeck's kick goes through the end zone. Will be first down and 10. Lausanne at the 20-yard
Yeah,
line.
and you mentioned at home, the Dragons notoriously known for being astonishing at home. They hardly ever lose at home. I mean, I can count on one hand how many home losses that we have called, me and you. So the precedent for being in the den for the Dragons is higher than almost any team in West Tennessee.
And the Dragons here allow 24 points per game on defense, but put up 40 in offense. So you can see, I mean, the defense has 3 points to work with, but it's the offense that has been slacking so far in the first half. And beautiful tackle there and wrap up by A.J. Kraft.
Yeah, A.J. Kraft just sticks on the chest of his defender and just waits for the guy to come to him before he makes that wrap up. That is good heads-up defense by A.J. Kraft.
Martavis Boyd on the carry, you pick it up 2 yards. Second down and 8.
And this will be T.J. Jenkins in the Lausanne Lynx. Martavis Boyd, Joel Rogers, and obviously Lawrence Britt have been performing great tonight. And another one-on-one ball, Plumlee in coverage. He's got his man to the house. Diving effort by Plumlee, and that is once again Joel Rogers striking first and striking quick. 80-yard touchdown to start the half, and that is not what the Dragons need after their slow first half start.
Yeah, that is brutal. I mean, I wonder how many long bombs it's going to take for the defensive coordinator to finally put some safety help up there. And I don't know where it's at because we saw a lot of too high safety just a couple of games ago. So I'm interested to see why we're playing no help over the top. I want to see that adjustment being made to hopefully keep the flame going in this game.
Yeah, and 28-10, not something the Dragons are proud of at the moment, but there's a lot of football left to be played, and they do have a chance to get back in the game and really showcase their skill with the huge win here.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty,
A comeback win here from the Dragons would really put an exclamation point on their season so far. This would be the win to show how truly elite they are. I mean, they've shown that with wins over Horn Lake, Bartlett, being 2-0 in the division, and just overall being dominant this year throughout 6A, leading the division. But it will come down to these common opponent games, especially when the Lynx have played teams with Southwind and Whitehaven. I mean, these are teams that if they go undefeated in their division too, it's going to come down to the seeding, and they're going to look at common opponents. And the Lynx have been playing many common opponents in 6A.
Yeah, and I also want to point out, I think it's going to prove to the world that the Dragons can play from behind. A lot of what the Dragons' offense is centered around is being able to play from up, right? And that is where they do their best, is when they play with a lead. And I don't think they've demonstrated to us enough what it feels like to play down 18 points. So
I mean, this is something the Dragons haven't seen besides the final 8-10 minutes of MRA.
Yeah, it was almost even less than that because, they put up 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes alone. So
yeah, I mean, they really haven't been behind this early in a game, and whether that be the Dragons slacking or the credit to the Lynx for doing their job and studying the Dragons, you decide that. And they make a switch up here, kicking it deep to Stubbs once again, and a flag flies in. More than likely on the Dragons. I believe that's number 24, Jake Rainey. He seemed to not be too happy with the call there.
Rocking it back. On the receiving team, number 24.
And that is Jake Rainey.
Spot of the foul, first down.
So that leaves the Dragons with even less field position.
Starting from their own 19, Caden, and this is a crucial drive for the Dragons. They send out Stanford to try to get his team back in the game. This, I'm not going to say is up his alley, but he does tend to be the commander-in-chief when it comes to stuff like this, and he can get his team going and rallied up. And he keeps it here, gets the block. He's racing to the outside, cuts back. He has room to the 30-yard line. First down, Dragons. Casey Stanford with beautiful field vision.
That'll be enough for a Dragon first down.
Stanford keeps his head up there, and he sees that he has the right tackle out there blocking and the wide receiver, just leaves him with nice open space. And, you know, seeing a little Stanford run is not something we see often. I'm glad to see that Stanford can get the ball moving on his feet.
Handoff, Vaughn once again. I wonder if everything's good with Autry at this point. Caden, haven't seen him in a while.
Colton Blake Parks on the defensive line just holds on to Vaughn like glue, making sure that he doesn't go anywhere, and he stuffs him for only a gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, and Lawrence Autry sitting with an ice pack on his shoulder and his helmet off. Jet sweep, Palmer cutting back up over the middle for a gain of 3. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Yeah, you can see Autry right there, no longer in suit, so he will be out the remainder of the game. Just looking to recover overall and being able to get back into action as soon as possible. So another huge thing for the Dragons. Fires over the middle, caught! Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, threading the needle. Bradley Stubbs drills that one in for the big gain the Dragons need. Once again, I said an underrated wide receiver. Him and Nick Graham are two guys that could see lots of usage when in tough times. When your main guys are getting covered, you turn to them, and they never fail to disappoint. Stanford on the keeper, takes up the middle, gain, falls forward for more yards. Dragons setting up with a 2nd and 4,
36-yard line.
moving down the field efficiently and quickly so far, Caden.
Yes, they need to get the ball turning over as quick as possible. And if that means starting to chuck it, then chuck the ball. You are only fighting against the clock and the person in front of you. Unblocked man still
Takes
gets
a shot, Caden, and you do see the flag fly from all angles.
Yeah, Lausanne has had a tough time guarding Tay cleanly, and I think they finally caught up to him on the penalty. That is going to set them up in even better territory. It would be a shame if the Dragons do not convert a score on this drive.
Yeah, and in high school, same to college, it is half the distance to the goal. So unfortunate in this situation for the Dragons.
I don't know, half the distance is a lot of distance.
Stanford drops back, looking for someone. Barksdale's over the middle. He tries to force it, and he does, Caden. Not a force, but a thread, so to say.
Colton, I hope you guys caught that. Stanford actually originally looks at Barksdale, but the middle linebacker comes across the right and was just waiting for that interception. It was kind of similar to the one that we saw earlier in the game, except Stanford waits out the linebacker and somehow threads a needle right into his receiver, and that'll leave up 2nd and short.
He said he can thread it anyway, and out to Palmer, makes a man miss. He is agile, Caden, and he is quick. Will that be enough to move the chains?
Palmer taken down at the 8-yard line.
A flag does come in, Caden.
Flag down on the play.
Holding on the offense, number 54.
Holding will back him up, Caden. That'll send him back to a 2nd and just about 15. They're going to say 14. 2nd and 14, Caden from Lausanne's 23-yard line. Dragons, like you said, crucial drive. Great field position here between the holding and the pass interference and the big catch by Stubbs. this is something the Dragons really need to capitalize on.
Yeah, this passing game has been phenomenal. I'd love to see even more passes. I want them airing it out is having a lot of success for them.
And Vaughn looked like to be stopped in the backfield. It slips out of reach of Xavion Daniels and takes it up the middle
Dylan Vaughn on the carry
for a big gain of a little over 10 to about 12. That'll set up a 3rd and 3, Caden. Great field position here.
Dylan Vaughn's going to get me fired for my job. I say something about the pass game, and he runs it 10 yards. That is what Vaughn brings to the table. Is he's like a wrecking ball. He just kind of stumbles forward, and bam, he stumbled 5 yards. You don't even know where that yardage went. And this is a big, crucial 3rd down.
And Stanford drops back, looks, has his man. Almost picked off once again. He threw it little over the reach of Marshall Smith. And that is definitely more on Stanford there. He says, my bad. But, yeah, Smith is a hard guy to miss, standing at 6 feet 5 inches. Kind of peels out there on a little flat route as they do send on the kicking unit to make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, Colton, that was kind of an anticipation throw because, you know, he was just waiting for his guy to get off the line, and he never quite did. They just couldn't find the timing. He was just kind of trying to, you know, hopefully predict that little flick of the wrist. Couldn't quite get it down.
And Hollenbach up and in. Cuts it to a 2-score game, 32 to 28.
With 6 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, it's the Lynx 28 and the Dragons 13.
But any points on
it's time to recognize our great sponsors. The Lost Pizza Company, State Farm Agent Joe Sario, Tri-State Guard Rail and Sign, State Farm Agent Zach Jaworski, C-Spire, Your Window Guy, Collierville Nutrition Spot, Fertility Associates of Memphis, Amerispan Tents, Althea Metal Fabrications, Mid-South Marine, My Town Moving, and Nava Roofing. Thank you to our great sponsors.
And Dragons getting set to kick off here, and it'll be T.J. Jenkins, Joel Rogers, Martius Boyd, and Lawrence Britt looking to be explosive as they have been all game. Looking to put this one not out of reach, but down 3 scores going into the 4th is not an ideal position for Collierville. And a high kick, lots of spin on it, fielded cleanly by Boyd, who will try to cut it cross field and wrapped up. Stopped behind the 20-yard line. They will set up shop from their own 19.
Boyd,
right,
take it down to the 18-yard line. Will be first down
here. Ready?
For the Lynx.
Run, pass, first down, run. All right? Write that down somewhere. Run, pass, run.
The odds on that, Caden.
I have the script. They're going to run it up the middle, try to pass over the middle, and then you're going to be like, you know what?
Just shut it down on the first leg.
Yeah, of course. But they're going to be like, you know what? Look. Okay, they're finally maybe adding some safety help here.
Yeah, they do have 2 back once again. And there's that first run. Stuffed going nowhere. You do see Tay now lined up against Lawrence Britt on this outside. Caden, the matchup we all really came here to see.
You know, it only took 30 minutes, but that was 30 minutes well waited. I would wait an hour to see this matchup, Colton.
Okay, we got all day, all night. You know, some of us have school in the morning.
Yeah, I got a math test tomorrow, Colton. I don't exactly have all.
And it is one-on-one. Putting him on an island. This would be a beautiful one-on-one ball. It is not. It is stuffed once again. The Dragons all over the run up the middle, and that'll set up a 3rd down now for the Dragons.
Colton, remember when I said run, pass? I think I said that, right?
I remember it.
You don't have to rewind the tape on that. I definitely said run, pass. 3rd down, they're going to look to air this out. Their number 1 weapon is covered.
Gosh, yeah, Tay is not in coverage on him anymore. They had to switch it up. Dustin Brown now being guarded by Tay. He's in motion. That is not the same guy. And here he is, Britt on the outside. Stuffed by the Dragons. Beautiful defensive stand there by Collierville.
On the reception.
Yeah, Colton, they try to bring the man in motion to maybe bring that safety or maybe bring a linebacker who's playing the man over, and then they're just going to throw it out to that right side. However, it looks like Collierville decided to watch some film and knew that that was coming, and that is a stop well deserved for the Dragons, and they are going to look to maybe get a score with 4 minutes left on the clock to make this fourth quarter a little interesting for us in the stands.
Fielded by Palmer, stays on his feet, Caden. He looks to be tripped up, he breaks it out to the 30, 20 inside the 10. Beautiful. Emmanuel Palmer inside the 10. And if that doesn't get you fired up, Caden, I don't know what does.
Yeah, Colton, that is, if you were to write Emmanuel Palmer in a dictionary, I would show you a video of that. He is so good in the open field. He is such a good kick returner and punt returner. He always manages to stay on his feet, and he is so tiny and explosive that it looks like he's eating the yards away by the tenfold, and this now leaves within 10 yards for the Dragons, and they're just going to keep the ball, and it is going to be right down the middle for a touchdown. Sanabanyas
powers through Caden, and will they go for 2? No, they're keeping it 1, cutting it to 8. Smart decision. I was just wondering how they would go about it.
There's no need to be down more than you have to.
And yeah, I mean, completely agree with what you said there. Missed 2-point conversion keeps it a 2-score game with the whole fourth quarter to go. And this is what more you wanted to see coming into the second half. Slow start on the defense. They did let up about an 80-yard touchdown. However, they have been pretty flawless since that on the last couple of drives. I mean, they stopped every single play. That last drive for the Lynx had negative yardage on it. And right there, beautiful return by Palmer makes it easy for the Dragons. Sanabanyas punching it in. Another thing we were talking about, keeping it dual threat with Sanabanyas. That's the red zone guy you want when Autry's out. You know, you never know what he's going to do. He can make that sidearm pass and thread the needle. He can hammer it down. He can really do just about anything, Caden.
Yeah, Sanabanyas' legs are his moneymaker. And I think, you know, usually it's Sanabanyas and then Autry out there, like you mentioned. But Deuce Vaughn has, you know, brought a sense of questioning for this linebacker core for the Lynx. And I think that confusion for the Lynx just leaves a wide open gap for Sanabanyas to do some damage. And this game is completely turned on its head. These quick scores from the Dragons are really where they show what they're about. And they are demonstrating to us that they can work from behind very well. First and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Lynx.
And Boyd does not get tackled for a loss this time. He takes it for a gain of 7.
The Dragons are looking to replicate some of the defensive success that they had in this second half. It looks like Coach Riccone decided to highlight a little bit of defense in the locker room because they have really stepped up in this game so far. This second half so far, sorry.
And a shot, same guy once again, Caden. The Dragons are going to need to cover him. Joel Rogers with the game of his life, man.
TJ Jenkins' pass is caught by number 13, Joel Rogers, for a touchdown.
And their game plan was Lawrence Britt here, and they're going to have to shift over to Joel Rogers if they keep letting him get these deep touchdowns. I mean, Caden, they had Joel Rogers' 80-yard touchdown stuffed, and then what was that, 75 by Joel Rogers? I mean, he's just been house calling them all game.
Yeah, the Dragons have been lacking on safety help. Their defensive scheme coming into this game has just been blown out of the water like a fish in C40. So they really need to change something up because it's not sustainable to, you know, keep the offense working from behind.
You can't allow this many explosive plays. I mean, you can't ask the offense to score 45 points to win. They might be able to do it, but as a defense, you shouldn't have to rely on your offense scoring 40-plus to win here. Especially a defense of this high caliber, man. I mean, this core hasn't been together too long. You know, 9 out of the 11 starters leaving last year, but the season going on, you really just need to get things under control here, especially with Cordova and Houston coming up, 2 divisional matchups to end the year off. They have the bye week coming up, however, so they're going to have some time to rest and regroup right after this game before going into that Houston, you know, week before Houston game. That game is on a Thursday, surprisingly, Caden, but many games are because Halloween's on the 31st, so yeah. Houston game's the 30th of October. Everyone be there at Houston High School.
Yeah, I think that going into this break, they're going to need to maybe switch up some defensive schemes. It's not necessarily the personnel on the field. I think they just need to rewrite some new schemes for their team to maybe fit the agenda, you know, because the defense hasn't been playing to the caliber that they've, you know, that the expectation was coming into the season. So maybe we just need a rewrite and a stronger second half from this defense. Or maybe, you know, we work on more personnel stuff. I'm not the coordinator. I'm not the coach. I just sit up in the booth. But something needs to change, Colton, and we got to figure something out.
And Garrett Stevens gets hit hard on that. You know, everyone kind of oohed and awed a little bit at that. But overall, he got back up and he was fine. Vaughn on the carry to the outside, cutting back in, putting shoulder into the body. Beautiful gain of 9 here.
Dylan Vaughn on the carry.
Colton Hudson Haynes on the right tackle is playing out of his mind right now. He leads his guy.
So you sure you got the right number there, Caden?
I believe it was number 61, Hudson Haynes.
Might be looking.
Regardless, the right tackle is playing crazy right now. He's really allowing these runs to the right to open up.
The right tackle would be Langston Reed, which would make quite a bit of sense. Number 70. Either way, 3rd and 3. Pretty critical here for the Dragons. Vaughn up the middle, fighting, gets there with the reach. Vaughn fighting for every inch of that first down, and he gets it.
Dylan Vaughn on the carry out to the 43-yard line, and that's a Collierville Dragon
plants his hand
first
down
down.
And shoves himself forward for an extra 7 or 8 inches, and that was the difference maker between a 4th and short and a 1st and 10 on their own 45.
And Sanabanya's here in for this drive, looking to get his offense on the board. He got a man, Tay Walden, caught! And Tay fired up now about that one after 5 and celebrating all game. Caleb White has been talking all game, and this is where it comes back, Caden. Tay looking to get the Dragons back in the game and on the board. They run a little hurry up here. They're already back at the line.
Tay doesn't need both hands to catch a football, Colton. That is the beautiful thing about him, is that he could have one hand checking his recruitment offers and have another hand hauling in catches that lead to those recruitment offers. He is just absolutely explosive, and he is such a playmaker. Even if you take away one of his hands, he steps up and he is the big play guy, and that is why he makes the dough.
And the Lynx getting a little scared here. Call a timeout, try to get their defense under control and settle down.
Story Point Senior Living. Welcome to the Story Point Seniors.
Gorgeous field position for the Dragons.
Vaughn up the middle.
Dylan Vaughn.
You keep on going deuce, Caden.
I'm
I
sorry.
like it.
I mean, there's a lot of comparisons there, right? Explosive, quick, and just lowers the head, and always finds a way to fight for 2 more yards. I'm sorry to Dylan Vaughn, but I can keep calling you Deuce. Just, you know, D. Vaughn in my mind. 2nd and mid for the Dragons. Sanabanez is going to use his feet out to the right. We see that so much, and that offensive line is just doing works and miracles.
I mean, that's why they all rang the bell. I believe it was last week or the week before at Bartlett.
Last week against Bartlett.
Last week was the homecoming, but yeah, I think the last broadcast. That's what I was saying. I couldn't tell. Yeah, last week against Craigmont was, I believe, AJ Kraft.
Speaking of ring the bell, it's a good tie-in. Who do we got so far? Who are you thinking is going to ring the bell tonight?
I honestly don't know, Caden. Probably whoever wins the game, probably making a turnover over the middle. Marshall Smith. Way too small. Braylon Wyatt had no chance with Marshall Smith. 6'5" and making that impact.
Colton, Sanabanez just delivers a butter ball right over the middle of the field. He delivers it in probably the most perfect spot that you could imagine. And when you are throwing to a guy of Smith's caliber, you are throwing to a guy of his caliber, it is not hard to miss. He is so good. He just needs to be utilized more, honestly. He's such a big body that defenders have such a tough time even getting in front of him to knock that ball out. It is now an 8-point game again, and there's still 13 minutes to play left in this game, a minute and a half left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. The Dragons are feisty. They're staying in this game, Colton.
Yeah, and the defense is going to need to make a stand here.
Yes, the offense has really showed out this 2nd half. The defense just, for the love of God, put a safety up there, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last, 3 touchdowns have been just burnt one-on-one balls. The 2 to this half and the 1 to end last half, I mean, that's 21 points out of the 35 that are just one-on-one coverage. And 3 in a row, Caden. And Hollenbach sends it away. Lots of spin on that ball. Receives it. They're calling it a touchback. I thought he caught that at the 1 there.
That would have been nice. Hollenbach is really.
I'm still a little in awe of that Smith catch, man. I mean, he just got that one. Like
that is a pro-level play from both Sanabanez and Smith.
You see your 6'5" tight end going right over the middle of the field against a small safety, and you just say, go up and get one. He didn't have to jump is the crazy part. He just used that body, caught it, and he was just bigger than everybody else. And Britt.
Now I know what Tom Brady felt with Gronk, you know, is it is so much easier to throw to a guy who is double the size of everyone else in the field.
36-yard line, first down for the
And Britt right there just powers it up the middle. 15 yards. And he just took off.
Yeah, that's the only way to put it, is just a straight shot.
Here you go, TJ Jenkins looking outside. He finds his man. He's got 3 touchdowns on the day. Joel Rogers been lighting up the stat sheet all night long.
Yeah, Jenkins just cuts back here, gets that short little throw, does a little underneath bubble kind of route, and you know the Lynx have found much success when they're just keeping the ball off the ground for as long as possible.
And they go right back at him on the screen, and they wrap him up. That is, I believe, Gale, who got in there, pushing him out of bounds.
Rogers on the reception again.
That'll bring up a 3rd, and they're saying 2, Caden. Big 3rd down. If you're the Lynx and you get stopped, do you go for this at midfield?
10 seconds left. It'll be interesting
Yeah,
to see if they try to get
yeah,
a bite.
they're not. They're just walking the sideline. Should be a neutral zone infraction, Caden. The lineman walking way past before the quarter ends.
would be petty enough to call it.
I would, as a Dragons fan.
27 Dragons, 35 Lausanne Lynx. 0-0-0 reads out on the clock to this third quarter. We have 1 quarter football left. Allie's going to bring you some third quarter action here to wrap up this game. Allie, back down to you.
And that's it with the third quarter. The score is 35-27 Lausanne. Lausanne has had an amazing game tonight, and we are ready to move on to the fourth quarter. Hopefully the Dragons can get their game together. Back to you, Caden.
Catch up to him.
I mean,
Arterius
Boyd just completely shifted that drive. That was a third down on the logo.
And of course, out of all people to catch him, it is Wallen. Correction early on, by the way. Graduated senior playing at Milliken is Bryson Johnson. Pretty sure I said Majors there. I've been saying his name all night long. That will be Britt on the carry, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, breaks another tackle, finally taken down. And the thing about this guy is just, it is tough to bring him down, Caden. It is tough to tackle him. The spin moving, the just bodily control he has to be able to go from side to side of the field. He has been great all night long, and obviously all season long.
Yeah, he's really just, like, when you think of offense, you think of him. He's just the stereotypical star in a high school movie, you know. He is just the guy who goes out there and plays his heart out every night.
And this is Jenkins on the keeper, bouncing to the outside, misses by Majors. Something that many people can't do is make Majors miss inside the 10, and TJ Jenkins making plays too. The Dragons are gonna need to make a stand here as the Lynx push on inside their 10. We hit 11 minutes left inside the fourth quarter. 11 minutes left of football to play. Dragons down by 8. Lausanne looking to continue their 2-score lead here inside the 10. Dragons going to need a turnover to make a play. Up the middle is Boyd, stuffed. Majors gets in there and wraps up beautifully.
Colton, that was, we haven't seen the quarterback keep the ball almost at all this game. So that's kind of caught the Dragons defense by surprise a little bit. And, you know, these balls on the ground are really just damaging the Dragons' defensive confidence. They need to pinch the line and maybe need to bring a linebacker down or two to stop whatever is going on this Lynx offense.
Jenkins with the keeper, fighting, taken down around the 5-yard line. The flight of Dragons. And this will bring up third and goal. Caden, what's the play here? One-on-one ball, fade, run it down the middle, just see if you can get in the end zone.
I like the fade, and I hate that I like the fade. I'm not supposed to like the fade as a Dragons commentator and fan, but the Lynx are just really good on this one-on-one ball. It might happen, especially the Dragons have seemed to find out how to pinch this line, and these linebackers getting in and wrapping up the RB. This one-on-one ball down here, number 13.
Jenkins on the keeper, read option, fighting.
I don't think he got it, Colton.
No, they're marking him short, Caden. Both sideline officials say his knee was down. 4th and goal from the 1, Caden.
Tackled at the 1-yard line. It'll be 4th down and
I believe that was 40 Wyatt Shorts getting in there. He like suplexes him almost. He brings his entire body weight down on him.
Yeah, and they're going for it, Caden. They're just going to QB sneak, little tush-push action. Dragons had him. Got around the side, got in the end zone. They keep the 2-score lead going with 8:55 left in the fourth. Lynx 41, Dragons 27. Looking to add on the extra point.
I hate to say it, Colton, but if the Dragons don't score on this upcoming drive,
some deep water game.
Yeah, that's a lot of mudge to trudge out of.
Hank Smith's extra point is up and good, and with
42
8:55 to play in the
points the
fourth
Lynx
quarter,
offense
it's the
has
Lausanne
put
Lynx 42
on
and
the Dragons. The Dragons
27.
have been known in the 6A division as having a superior defense, and the Lynx have been known as having a not so superior offense. So whatever they worked on in practice has definitely been working for Lausanne. This has been a shocker for some, especially Lausanne fans. You know, they haven't seen an offense this productive since last season. But, you know, they stepped up last week against ECS, and maybe this is the start of a new offensive chapter for the Lynx. This is definitely the time to do it. You know, you don't want to find this footing in the last 3 games of the season. You want to find it now. Maybe you can make a push and ruin some teams' dreams, just like they are doing for the Dragons tonight.
Fielded cleanly here. 15-yard line to the 20, bouncing outside. Beautiful wrap up there by number 14 of Lausanne. That is Knox Cashman. Beautiful wrap up tackle.
Kick return by number 0, Garrett Stevens. Tackled by number 14, Knox Cashman. It'll be first down for the Dragons at the 24-yard line.
Who do they bring out? They bring out number 2, Braden Santabanez. I think that's the right move, Colton. I think you need to start hurling it, and I think you need something big, quick, and that is what Santabanez excels at. Short pass. He has some daylight ahead of him.
That is Vaughn. First down again for the Dragons.
There you go. That was only 6 or 8 seconds to get a first down. That's what they need. They need to find that first down quick. It is a running clock in the fourth quarter, though, so they can't take much time in the huddle or looking to the sideline. You need to have your plays pre-prepared on a platter and hopefully get some big drives quick.
Looking outside, finds London Shaw. Gets out of bounds after a gain of 5. Nice pickup there on a little out route. Santabanez connects with Shaw. 8:10 left and ticking. Dragons down by 15. Do you go for 2 here if you score, Caden, or do you wait till that final possession possibly? Walden, stop, go, tries to cut across, gets the first down and falls down.
Pass caught by Tay Walden Jr. out to the 48-yard line, and that'll be a Collierville Dragon first down.
Pressure on until you absolutely need it.
Until you need the extra pressure.
Tackle made by number 40, Blake
I think
Parks.
now the only thing that you should be laser focused on is finding the pigskin into the back of the end zone.
Walden calls for it. He's got his beat. Oh my goodness!
Pass intended for
Caden,
one. Tay
name
Walden
the
Jr.
rarest
is
thing you could
incomplete.
think of.
Second down for the Dragons.
Walden dropping the ball is more rare than that. I mean, that was in his hands. He is frustrated with that. I mean, everybody was like,
that was a collective. Oh,
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Everyone, oh, I mean, you just don't see stuff like that out of him. Very uncharacteristic.
I like that, though. I like that aggressiveness that Santabanez uses, the trust in Walden.
And this will be Vaughn up the middle. The ball's out. Dragons recover for first down. Caden added about 7 yards on the end of that.
On the run,
If it works, it works.
Number 3, London Shaw.
And you know, if you need to fumble the ball to get some extra yards, then
ball spotted to the 36-yard
London Shaw
line,
jumped
first down
right
for
on
the
it.
Dragons.
And you see Marshall Smith working out some cramps right there. Doesn't have the bananas, but rolling the calf muscles. Santabanez drops back, looking, flies one over the top of the field, intended for Walden. Touchdown, he redeems himself. Walden doesn't strike twice in one spot. Walden uses his hands, reels that one in.
Colton Walden just tricks his defender. The defender thinks he's going to go out left and try to, you know, look for that fade route like he did. Walden, just a beautiful cut move, just cuts back in, and he just has him beat by a couple steps, and Walden is making sure that the fans stay in the stands. 7 minutes left on the clock, is hopefully going to be back up to a one-score game. And
they fake it, powering through. What does the sideline official say? He's in. Sanabanez fired up, and it's back to 7, Caden.
17 seconds left to play.
It wasn't even a fake. We weren't even looking at it. We thought it was a PAT. Sanabanez just goes out there and lines up under center and just bounces out to the left. We said don't put pressure on yourself when you don't need it.
Pressure builds diamonds, Caden.
Sanabanez just takes alleviates a lot of pressure. It is now a one-score game. We need the Dragons defense in the biggest way possible. This is their moment to shine.
They need to step up.
They've had a lot of faulty moments this game. Throw all of it in the trash can, crumple it up, throw it in the corner. This is where you need to be the Dragons defense that everyone knows that you are. It is never too late to start playing good, and the Dragons need to prove it to us right now.
Who's going to be the guy to make the play, Caden? They need to force a fumble, an interception, something. The Dragons are going to need to get something going on defense. And they try the onside, surprisingly. Hits a Lausanne defender. Dragons signaling their ball. Officials discussing. They're saying Lausanne ball. They're saying it hit the Dragons first. Does someone have a replay device? Lausanne might get bailed out here. They're saying it traveled 10 yards either way. And everybody frustrated with the call here.
The ball goes 10 yards. That'll be Lausanne's ball at the spot of the first.
I disagree, Caden. I mean, even if it did hit the Dragons, it was after the 50 and a sideline penalty on the Dragons.
That was about to be the play of the month, Colton, and
you could tell someone said one thing wrong and the flag flew. They gave him multiple warnings, and one extra word leads to the flag there. And that is a huge 15 yards. So Lausanne getting bailed out in all type of ways. Can the Dragons, put the refs aside and make their stand?
Yeah, the boys in stripes are really putting on for Lausanne right now, and that was a tough penalty actually, and I think that's going to kill the Dragons more than they think it is.
I really want to see a replay, Kate. I highly doubt the Dragons touch that before 10 yards.
Yeah,
I could see the Dragons touching it and Lausanne never touching it, but they were well past the 50, Kate. I mean, I'm talking like 52-yard line. If you're a ref, you got to have eyes on that.
Yep, we are the announcers.
I love the call, though, Kate. I love the call and the aggressiveness by the Dragons team.
There's a player down for the Dragons.
I wonder if that's Marshall Smith, who's been stretching his calf out the whole time on the sideline.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And that is Marshall Smith. Safe to say that was just a cramp. I mean, he's been stretching on the sideline, using the roller, and he just goes down with a simple calf cramp there, Caden. And once again, calf monster striking Collierville turf.
Yeah, man, cramp. Have we given him a name yet?
I don't think so, Caden. I think that was your job.
It was my job. My name is
Caden not doing his homework for once.
Fluffy the cramp monster.
I love it. TJ Jenkins fakes the handoff, takes a shot, same guy, same result. Touchdown, Lynx. Joel Rogers strikes again, and Caden, I mean, the refs to the one-on-one coverage again. I mean, even with the onside kick not going your way according to them, and the 15 yards after. There's no excuse to having the same result happen for the 4th time tonight. The last 4 touchdowns have been the same thing.
Well, Colton, you know, it's been disappointing, but there is a positive in all of this, that they did leave 7 minutes on the clock. So there is still enough time if the Dragons can strike quick like they have been doing.
Nick Smith's kick is up.
They still have 7 minutes of game clock to give the defense another shot. You know, they haven't stepped up like they have in the past games, but you need to give them one more shot, because knowing the defense and knowing the coaches down there, they are going to do right at least once. It could be the start of the game, but right now I think they're going to do right at the very end of the game. You're not out of this at all.
I don't think so at all, Kaden. And the Dragons, this reminds me of the MRA game quite a bit. Hopefully in a better way than last time. Just blow for blow going down the stretch here. Big play by the Lynx, big play by the Dragons. Big play by the Lynx, big play by the Dragons. And that's just something you can't have, because that's not a battle you want to play. I mean, you need to be able to stop. Like, they need to be able to stop the Lynx offense completely here on at least one of the drives. It's just hard to go the length of the field and score a touchdown every single drive on both teams. So I'm saying it's really whatever team fails first, and it's hard because the Dragons are down by 2 scores. So they can't fail even if the Lynx fail.
Not only is it hard, it's discouraging too to see all your work just reversed within seconds.
Clean return, Stevens bouncing to the outside, cutting back towards the middle, once again taken down. Same guy, knocks Cashman to the 30-yard line. Tanner Jones upset about a face mask call there. He did get ripped down on the block. Dragons set up shot from, they're marking it the 29, and that'll be Sanabanez coming back out once again. From me claiming to see his thumb hurting to him lighting up the field, I don't know what was more wrong with my prediction here. That we're going to see a lot of Stanford, or that that he was even injured in the first place. He has been visibly perfectly fine. They find Bradley Stubbs, who takes a shot. He bobbled the ball, but he held on. I mean, that's a tough gain of 2 yards, Caden. And he's coming out of the game for a play here. I mean, he got lit up.
Clock is rolling. The Dragons need to start making some, the out routes are nice. Yeah, you get completions. Yeah, you get the confidence. Yeah, you get the timing. But 3 yards isn't going to cut it.
Sanabanez steps up. He's got room to work. Takes another shot there. That'll bring it 4th and 1.
That'll be enough for a Collierville Dragon first down.
Excuse me. It's a first down by the sideline officials. I love the call. 1st and 10 now. As you said, clock still ticking. He finds Walden. Walden stays in bounds, getting out after the first down, and a flag comes in once again.
There is a flag down on the play.
Blocking the back on the Dragons. The penalties have been killing them down the stretch here. When you can't afford mistakes, you can't afford penalties either, Caden. You have to be flawless on offense in every way, and that's not even the lineman there. That is Garrett Stevens, who checked in the game for Stubbs, now coming off for Stubbs.
6 minutes left on the clock.
I wonder if they call the quarterback line like hockey. It's like Sanabanya's line, go in. It's like boom. It's a whole different play sheet, man.
I wish they had, like boards that you could just hop over like in hockey too.
Make it interesting, Caden. Sanabanez takes a snap. Under pressure. Fires. Pass interference is written all over that, Caden. Yeah, no flag there. I mean, he hit him well before the ball got to him.
Yeah, that's a tricky throw by Sanabanez, throwing over the middle of the field, with the line collapsing. That has interception written all over it, honestly. They're lucky they got away with only an incompletion there.
Sanabanyes drops back, looking once again. Tay on the screen pass. He's got room over the middle of the field. Cutting across field. Using his blockers. He's got room on the outside. Taking off. Using those jets that he's got to the 40-yard line. I'm still in awe of the Arlington game. I mean, he clocked, Caden, above 22 miles an hour. I mean, this guy can move.
Yeah, and we saw those. These are very rare screen passes that we see.
Another flag, Caden.
The Dragons are going to be backed up, but we see these screen passes where they have Tay cut in, and just he's basically running coast to coast from each sideline to each sideline, and he's utilizing his speed in a way that we don't see from anyone else in the field.
I gotta watch how I judge these refs, but there was no call on the pass interference, and then after two big plays, not even counting the onside kick, we're not even going to go over that. After the two big plays, there's block in the backs. I mean, every time the Dragons get something going, and he just gets pulled down by the horse collar and the face mask there, and everybody on the Dragons sideline signaling for something, and there's just no call. I mean, the Dragons are going to need something crazy to win this, as 5 minutes.
Yeah, the burning clock is rough.
Sanabanyes checks down Walden. You can't do that on third. That sets up a 4th and 8 now. 4th and 8. Pretty much game on the line here. Dragons are going to need something super clean, apparently, where you can't get a block in the back.
Yeah, the Dragons were thinking 2 downs in their mind all the way, so I think they were just trying to set up better field position to maybe make this 4th down a little bit more manageable.
I mean, they went back 10 yards throughout the play. Sanabanyes under pressure, looking out, finds Barksdale, who just gets wrapped up. You can't run backwards there. And the Lynx, I mean, you can hear them across the field. They actually traveled pretty decently today. You see they have a nice little crowd of their own, which is just great for momentum, being able to make the journey, knowing you have a good group of supporting fans being able to pack the stands. I mean, it's not filled, but very great attendance by the Lynx fan base here. And that'll be 1st and 10 Lynx. The Dragons would need a stop and a lot more than that. They need a fumble as well. I mean, they need like a pick 6 here to the house. Something crazy to get them right back in it, get the momentum, and have the time go quick. But I'd be shocked if we see them even throw the ball. Boyd has been elite on the ground all day. And it is Boyd on the keeper, up the middle for, still on his feet for a gain of 6 now. Dragons will not burn a timeout yet.
Out to the 39-yard line, 2nd down and 4 for the Lynx.
And Caden, haven't mentioned this all night, but this could potentially be the final broadcast of the season, depending on the playoffs. So, I mean, we've had a great season. We want to thank all of the listeners. Very hopeful to be back for some playoffs and a Dragons win versus Houston to set up a couple of home playoff games here. But we thank everybody for listening all season long and to tune in more next year for mine and Caden's farewell tour. We expect gifts as the games go on. What is so awesome is that for next year, we get Houston at home, which is always our final game of the season. So pending playoffs, obviously, the final game might be a Houston home game here at Landers Field, which would be electric, Caden.
That would be a pretty fine and dandy way to go out.
Couldn't send us off any better. I bet they planned that.
You think they planned that around us, Colton?
I think so, Caden. Okay. 3rd down here for the Lynx. Dragons need to stop if they have any chance of any sort of life here. Lausanne packing the box. Stuffed. Exactly what the Dragons need. Clock still bleeding. So there's no 2-minute warning. But they are going to take this to about 2 minutes. They are keeping all 3 timeouts, so they're just going to need some sort of, they're going to need what the Lynx have been getting in the one-on-one balls that are like 10-second touchdowns.
You know who they need? You know the one man who's going to save the team? Taylor. Hope so, Taylor. We should put him on this.
We need like the Amazon Prime statistics of the night. Lausanne average time of possession on a scoring drive, Caden.
Yeah, I wish we need to hire a statistician.
An Amazon Prime, a little graphic in the top right corner.
Timeout.
I mean, we are
Lausanne.
Thursday Night Football. It's Amazon
Second
Prime
timeout
exclusive.
on the half.
You're giving Amazon Prime too many call-outs.
Timeout Lynx, they burn it all the way down 2-0 here. They have a 4th and 3 to put the game away, obviously going for it at this field position. I mean, you can't attempt any sort of 55-yard field goal, and you're definitely not punting it back. So you're just going to take as much time off the clock and try to put it away when you have 3 yards to go.
Yeah, you want to just make it as hard as possible for the Dragons. You want to suppress any form of revolution that the Dragons may lash out against you. And, you know, 2 minutes is not a lot of time, but 2 minutes is 2 minutes, and football is a crazy, crazy game, Colton. So and they're not punting.
Yeah, 4th and 3 here. They do just snap punt it, unexpected, into the back of the end zone.
I was not expecting a snap punt.
You don't see that too often, especially in high school ball. Who knew?
That was TJ Jenkins.
Yeah, who knew the quarterback got a leg like that?
The next home game here at Dragon Stadium is October 24th at 7
All right,
p.m.
Colton,
against
a
the
minute
Cordova
55 on the clock. The Dragons are going to roll out. What are you looking for deep? Who are you looking for deep?
I mean, everybody's expecting Walden, and they do put a bigger matchup on them. I can't criticize too much, but I'd really like to see Nick Graham out here some plays. I mean, he has amazing hands, and his stature's just unbelievable. And, yeah, the flag's out before the ball's even thrown. I mean, calling a holding on someone.
Yeah, it looks like the Dragons are getting a little grabby there. They're just trying to give Sanabanyas as much time as possible. It's only natural that they want to keep their quarterback, you know, they want to give him time to load up because they're waiting for that deep pass downfield. They just, you know, the mistakes by the offensive line have just added up today. You can't blame the offensive you can't blame everything on the offensive line,
especially with the defensive. I mean,
struggles, yeah.
Yeah, 49 points. I just feel like 35 points by the offense isn't that bad. I mean, I feel like that's a great ask if you're the defense. However, the Lynx do have some, stud people out here. I mean, they got
of course,
Lawrence Britt. Boyd's been lighting everybody up through the whole state. And the ball comes out there at the end of the play. They're saying he was down first.
It almost seems like in these play calls that the Dragons may have conceded a little bit. They're just going to tuck their tail and go hard.
Yeah, they have a bye week followed by a game, I believe Hal said, on the 24th at home against Cordova.
That is Friday.
Yeah, and then 6 days later they play Houston on the 30th, and they find Stubbs in the middle of the field, taking it across the 50 to the 49. Play blown dead. They just need to get back to the line of scrimmage.
By number 9, Bradley Stubbs out to the 49-yard line. First down for the Dragons.
That Houston game's going to decide all the home seeding, so if they get that, Hayes just got to get out of bounds here. And he does. 40 seconds left. I mean, this would still take an absolute miracle, but you just got to hope for the best. Sanabanya has one clap and the snap. Looking, flag flies once again. You just, get out of bounds here. I mean, the clock's still running. You're just wasting time at this point.
Colton, I've seen too much yellow. I am starting to hate the color way too much now.
Sorry, just stepped in that. Yeah, between the Lynx and the flags, Caden, I don't know what's worse. It really all just comes down to, I really am not the type of person to blame the whole game on a flag, but I really do feel like that onside kick just completely flipped the momentum. You get the ball back, and you're only down 7 after converting on the trick 2, and now you have the trick onside kick expected by nobody. to put you back, I mean, in a tie game here. And that gets called back and it just kind of kills everything. Followed up by a touchdown and just pieces start falling from there. So
30.9 is etched into the clock on the north side of the field. North side of the field.
Okay, and it's been a blast commentating this year. I'm not even going to say anything about the Houston game. I'm just going to say Autry guaranteed we are beating Houston this year. When talking to him, he said, we're beating Houston this year for sure. That's a fact.
He is a very honest man, so
They say he's never lied in his life, Kate, and that's what I've heard.
Really?
That's what the people tell me. Wow. You know my connection with the people, Caden.
That's impressive. Good on him.
They didn't say he's perfect, but they said he's never lied in his life, which is a big thing. Big step to being perfect, Caden.
I also heard he saved an infant in a house fire.
Rumor spreads, Caden. I mean, he does one thing just out of the kindness of his heart, and everyone's got to go blabbing about it.
Yeah, eight has really been such a vital part of this offense. He is the aorta to the Dragons' offensive heart, and I think that not saying that the Autry is just really such an important integral part of the rushing game, especially. You know, sometimes he goes out there and puts up 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, and you're like, oh man, just another day at the office for 8. And
I've heard that he walks that in his sleep. Like, he just practices. I mean, it's eat, sleep, and breathe 100-yard games and touchdowns here. And I'm, like you said, I feel like, and Palmer just trying to get one. I mean, I don't know. At this point, just show some sportsmanship and knee it. There's 16 seconds left, and you're running like little screens inbounds. You just got to either take a shot if you wanted anything about a minute ago, or you just got to take a knee and concede the game. But yeah, Autry guaranteed we're beating Houston. So if he is truthful, which he tends to be,
and they finally got a force call.
I mean, if he ends up being correct on that, that'll lead us for more games to commentate, Caden. But with 8 seconds left here, I'm going to call and just thank all the fans and the listeners. We've been getting great viewership throughout the season, and we thank you. Something we don't take for granted. We will be here next year, and we will be here for the playoffs. So continue to tune in and watch the Collierville Dragons playoff run, which is hopefully going to be deep with this roster that we've built this year. It'd be a shame to see the season end too early. So, unfortunately, they did not get the win tonight. They will fall to 5-3, ending their 3-game win streak. We will not be broadcasting the Cordova game, which is why this could possibly be the last game of the season. With that being said, as they do punch in a touchdown,
and Chris Paul cuts the lead to 41.
Yeah, they're saying incomplete anyway. With that being said, we thank you for listening, and please do attend the game if you can, and the Houston game on the 30th. Those dates are the 24th at home and the Landers Field, and the 30th at Houston High School. It's been a great season for the Dragons, and me and Caden have enjoyed calling it as always. Join us next year, and in the playoffs, Caden.
In the playoffs.
Sanabanez drops back, looking, fires off the hands of London Shaw as the clock hits 0, and that will bring us to our final score. The Lausanne Lynx come in and dethrone the Dragons, riding their momentum.
35. Join us right back here at Dragon Stadium on October 24th.
49, Dragons 35. Me and Caden, thank you guys for listening all year, and we'd like to thank Dragon Media for giving us this wonderful opportunity to call the games in the booth we call home this year. Signing off from Landers Field on a beautiful Thursday night, I'm Colton Bowden signing off alongside my broadcast partner,
Caden Landry.
Thank you and good night.